And then there's this man, Scotsman Jimmy McRae, and his fearsome rally driving sons, the McRae brothers Colin and Alistair. Their need for speed simply flowed in their veins.
I didn't really need to encourage them to get involved.
Once I was age to drive, then the idea was always there that I would have a try at rally.
We've got this competitiveness in us, and that's why we do it.
This week, Colin McRae, a former rally world champion, suffered a disappointing end to his '98 season when engine failure saw him out of the Network Q Rally of Great Britain. He'd already said goodbye to his second world championship with turbocharger failure in the Rally of Australia. The '98 title went to Finland's Tommy Mäkinen after first he, then his championship rival, Spain's Carlos Sainz, exited the British event in dramatic fashion. There was double disappointment for the McRaes as Alistair, partnering his brother in a one-off drive with Subaru, also crashed out.
Bye-bye.
Nevertheless, their father Jimmy could take great pride in seeing two of his sons competing side by side at the highest level in a sport he himself fell in love with 24 years earlier. Jimmy began rallying at the late age of 30 after pursuing a motocross career. He soon found he had a talent for four wheels. Between 1981 and 1988, he won 5 British Open Rally Championships. Long before that, though, he found he had an eager young rival.
I used to love going along and riding in the car with him and really watching what it was all about.
And I always knew that he had the natural ability to drive a car very quickly and very smooth. And after a couple of years, I definitely knew he had the speed, and it was just to get the speed and the reliability.
Just like Dad, Colin began in bikes and progressed onto four wheels. Soon the two McRaes were on the road together, racing side by side, although Colin's predicted speed usually put him up in front. In 1991, Colin signed with Subaru and immediately began winning. It was a taste of things to come.
It's obviously the first rally with the new car and the new team. Well, hopefully we're going to win a few more this year.
Meanwhile, the third member of the McRae clan was plotting his course, following a now well-trodden route from bikes to cars.
It was actually the first event I did. I borrowed a car from one of the local car club members and just did a single venue event. I think both Colin and my father were away elsewhere in other rallies, sorted it out myself and did that, and from then on it was a case of, right, we need to get a hold of something and start rallying properly.
And then there were 3. Whilst Colin was in the top flight, Jimmy was in the twilight of his career, and Alistair was serving his apprenticeship, setting up an interesting rivalry between father and youngest son.
Alistair thinks it's going to be him, but I might give him a shot.
He's saying he's going to be number 1, you're going to be number 2, is that correct?
We'll just let him think that. We'll maybe change that towards the end of the rally.
For the record, Alistair won that particular event in 1993 by a huge margin. Big brother Colin was hitting the big time. Crowned British Rally champion the previous 2 years, he'd progressed onto the World Championship circuit with Subaru. His reputation for speed was becoming widely feared as the young driver powered ever closer to his ultimate goal, the world title.
Obviously, when I started the sport, that's what I wanted to do. You have to set yourself a goal, and you may as well set yourself the best goal.
That ambition was fulfilled in 1995. After victories in 2 of the 8 World Championship events, Colin McRae became the youngest rally world champion. It was an annus mirabilis for the McRae family, as Alistair also celebrated his first British Rally Champion title. Between them, the brothers were consolidating their family's position as one of the most successful in rally history.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty hard act to follow, and when you look at the British Championship, for instance, and that from I first won it to Alistair won it, I think there was 8 McRaes in a period of 15 years. Myself 5 times, Colin twice and Alistair once. I mean, I think that is going to be a pretty hard act to follow for anybody.
Since that British Championship in 1995, Alistair's aim has been to follow his brother onto the World Championship circuit. Presently, he's driving Formula 2 with Volkswagen. It would seem that famous name of his can have its drawbacks.
Maybe the McRae name has gone a wee bit against Alistair, in that I feel, you know, that people are a bit reluctant to take Alistair on in a major World Championship team, because, you know, Colin was already there and they didn't think, you know, that the two brothers could do it. But I'm positive Alistair will be there as well.
Alistair's drive in the Rally of Great Britain with Subaru certainly provided him with a shop window to demonstrate his indisputable driving skills. Next year, he'll move to Hyundai, who are developing their own four-wheel drive turbocharged World Championship car. However, Alistair will have to wait a while for a regular seat in a top-range car, as Hyundai's product won't be ready until well into next season. As for Colin, he's accepted a £6 million 2-year deal to drive the new Ford Focus, bringing to an end his career with Subaru.
It's been 8 very successful years, but then hopefully I've got another 8 very successful years in front of me. It's a new team, a new car. We've got a tremendous task in front of us, but it's going to be very good and very exciting.
And let's hope that goes for the McRae family as a whole.